I would like to start this meeting of the Central Coast Regional District by acknowledging that we operate our services on the unceded traditional ancestral territories of the Heiltsuk, Wekenoat, and Newhawk peoples, as well as the Kitasoo Hayes Nation and Ogacho Nation. We honor our relationship with these nations. Where this meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be made publicly available on our website. The meeting has been called to order at 12:01 p.m. on May 14th, 2026. We have all of our directors in attendance today. We have myself, Jamie Kennedy. We have Director Steve Emery representing Area A, Director Travis Hall representing Area B, Director Lawrence Northeast representing Area D, and Director Leslie Harstead representing Area E. First of all, our first matter of business is to adopt the agenda. I am looking for a motion that the agenda be adopted as presented.
I'll move.
Moved by Director Hall. Thank you. And a seconder?
Yep.
Seconded by Director Northeast. Great. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay. So moving right along. The next item on the agenda is to close the meeting to the public for the purpose of consideration of items that fall under the following sections of the community charter. 91A. Can I just say the numbers, or do you want me to read this out so that we have
You can just say the numbers.
Okay, 91A, C, E, K. And so I'm looking for a motion that the meeting moved by Director Hall and a seconder. Seconded by Director Emery. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. We'll move on to election planning and orientation. Is that where we're at? Yep. Oh,
yes.
Okay. Okay, sorry, my connection's not very good. So, okay, so we have a plan here. Mr. Slingerland, can I pass it over to you to speak to?
Absolutely.
Great.
So thank you, Chair. So as the board is aware, there will be local government elections taking place in October of this year. So what I've prepared is a bit of an orientation and training plan that goes along with, so the board can get an understanding of what sort of training is taking place. I'm recommending that we move the date of the inaugural meeting to align with a time when everybody's in community, because it's nice. One of the one of the things you may notice is we don't have a photo of this board together all together. So the next board, I do want to see if I can get everybody in a room together, go through the training together, and get a photo of everybody together smiling for all of our media. But in here is a bit of the planning for this and what it looks like. So the general overview is bringing everyone into the valley and doing kind of basically a boot camp in essence. So we get everybody in, we advertise the dates. If you're running, we needed to take this time off work. You'll obviously be compensated for it. And we bring them into the valley and we have them do several days of governance training. So everything from just the foundations to asset management, to getting a legal overview with case law updates, walking through the budget in detail, doing mock budgets, doing mock. I do want to do a mock board meeting so people get really understanding of the flow of how board meetings function. And then having at the very end, after they've gone through that, the inaugural meeting on the 20th. And then having the directors return to their communities, and the first regular board meeting being on the November 26th. The reason for such an intense schedule is the new board will be coming in, and as you're all aware, our budget season runs pretty long, and they'll be coming in late in the budget season, and then the budgets have to be approved by March. So this is where I want to put them through a really robust training program so that they're feeling really confident and really able to start being a director and feel confident that they can move forward. So the report outlines, the different activities that will be taking place. And then as well as we start to prepare, I created there's a guide on Appendix A or Schedule A that goes through how some of the things that happen as we prepare for an election. What are the things that staff need to do and the shifts as we move to a really apolitical environment where we're protecting the integrity of the election. So this has been all prepared to support both you as the elected officials as you navigate as you approach the election, and for staff as we approach the election. And then on the other side of the election, that the new people come on in and we give them the training they need to be successful and on board as quickly as possible. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Can I get the penthouse? No, thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's nice to see this plan in action.
Other questions, comments there? Okay, so we have a recommended resolution, and I will read it out. So bear with me here. It's a little lengthy, but that's okay. That the election period guidelines attached to the report as Schedule A to apply during the 2026 general local government election period be approved, and that staff be authorized to implement and administer the election period guidelines for the 2026 local government elections and all future elections, including applying the guidelines to all board, staff, and candidate-facing activities during the election period. And that staff be authorized to plan, coordinate, and deliver a pre-election candidate orientation session in accordance with the election period guidelines, ensuring that the session is administrative in nature, non-promotional, and equally accessible to all candidates and prospective candidates. And that the proposed post-election board orientation schedule and 4-day orientation program as outlined in the report be approved, and that staff be authorized to undertake all logistical, administrative, and communication actions necessary to support the election transition and orientation process, including candidate notices, travel and accommodation, coordination, preparation of orientation materials, and related internal and external communications, and that authority be delegated to the CAO to make adjustments to the orientation program schedule and delivery format as required, and that staff prioritize in-person facilitation of the orientation sessions and group meals to support learning and relationship building, and that any overages for the orientation program be changed to general government governance and contingency, and further that the previously established board meeting schedule be amended to set the inaugural board meeting to be held on Friday, November 20th, 2026.
So moved.
Moved by Director Hall, and a seconder? Director Northeast. Further discussion there?
Question.
All in favor? Yeah.
Aye.
Great. All right.
Did you even breathe? Did you even breathe through all that?
Just one
A
little quick deal. I think maybe it's a spelling error, but it should any overages to the orientation program be changed or should be charged?
Charged.
Okay. Charged. That makes more sense. Yes. Okay. So we'll include that. Director Harsted? You're muted. Director Harsted, you're muted.
Hi, sorry. I
Okay.
should stop muting my speaker, but anyway, yeah, I actually was putting up my hand because I had a few questions just before the vote. That's why I was putting up my hand, not to vote. Like, yeah.
Oh,
So can I?
you can
I
just
also
jump in then if I'm, yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry, yeah, and then my mic was off. So, yeah. So can I ask a couple questions right now?
Yes, but we
Or is
have,
it too late? Is it too late because the vote?
We did vote on it, but we could rescind it if, but let's answer the questions and then see if we have to rescind it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I just wondered about the part, and thank you, Curtis and everyone for doing all this. You guys have obviously put a lot of work into all this stuff and thought about a lot of things. But I just wondered about why it says all future elections in that thing that you just read off. Yeah.
Yeah.
All future.
Great question. Great question. This is one that actually I'm pretty pumped about, if you will, is because it's such it's this weird period of time where things kind of, one group kind of comes to a close and a new group, even if it's the same group, there is this change. And having established guidelines for election periods, like this is something I envision that we'd bring forward a year, like on a schedule to have a discussion, and then that would apply every election, just so that there's consistency around what are the staff doing, how are we conducting ourselves, and how are we shifting gears? Because it becomes this time where we kind of get quiet. We're not going to introduce bold new initiatives right before an election because we're going to cause a stir, where it's really keeping things so that the population, so everybody can focus on, wrapping up their term or campaigning for the next term, and that it's a fair playing field for everybody who takes part by not injecting things. So establishing guidelines that apply for all future elections gives us a baseline. Because we are a small organization, sometimes we don't get a chance to update things. So with that resolution intact, it allows that if this doesn't get done, we have guidelines at least in place for next election. So it's on the books. We've got something that we can fall back to as a bit of a guidepost. Okay.
Thank you. And then I was in the part that was read, it says something about candidate facing activities. And I'm just wondering about it. It sounds like it sounds like sort of code of conduct stuff around candidates that aren't even elected yet. And I just wonder what candidate facing activities are, and if we can actually, or the staff can control that kind of stuff, people that are just
I think the
running.
intention of
Running,
that
but
isn't. So the intention is we're not. There is a chief elections officer. There are rules in place that'll be managed there. The candidate information or activities that we're looking at, maybe actually what's best if I can answer this is, where specifically are you looking? So I can, is it in the election guide?
Yeah, it was read out as part of the motion. It said something about candidate facing activities.
It's the second paragraph down.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So the intention of that is, one thing in the election guide that I've put forward is that we'll do a pre-candidate information session, and we're planning for that to take place in July. And the idea for that is that's candidate facing. So anybody who's interested in running, we encourage them to take part, and it's going to walk them through. So it's not about any director conduct or any individual conduct. It's an activity that we're putting forward to educate people on what the role looks like. I imagine all of you have had experiences you can talk to about being an elected official and that transition from what you thought it was to what it actually was. And what's really, especially the time commitment, like let's just take a second on the time commitment. It's not one meeting a month. It's hours and hours more than that. So that's an activity we want to do, where we have this open session, and we're planning on having a bit of it's not too much of an event, but for people to come learn about how to apply, what the role looks like, and have a Q&A with me, so that people, when they look at it, can really weigh what they're going to do. Is this something for them? Because it isn't just showing up for one meeting and spending, 4 hours a month. It is a lot more than that. They need to understand that. So it has nothing to do with director conduct. It's more about we want to do some of these facing events that draw in people, spark interest, answer questions, and get them prepared. So again, when they start day one, they're able to land on their feet, move confidently. And as we all know, budget season's a slog. That is the first thing out the gate that they're doing. And that is an intimidating thing to do day one off the gate. So trying to make sure they're supported.
So Yeah, so that July pre-election, it's kind of like an information session for anyone that wants to attend, but I'm just wondering, like when you, because, you know, the nominations don't open till September 1st, so that's quite a ways ahead, plus it's summertime that I'm just wondering, sort of the cost of putting something of that on if we get little or no, participation in that July thing that you are talking about arranging, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
I
like a
mean-
plan to, like, are you just not going to run it if nobody applies or if only one person applies or, because
I think-
you also talked about overages, so I'm just,
I think
like
what it
that
comes down to
overages, meaning
is,
financial overages, yeah, because I was thinking, well, that's one way to save money, I guess, if nobody, you know, is around or is, has decided to run or not yet come July.
well, we're trying to spark interest as well and encouraging as
Okay,
many people to
okay.
go as possible. So it's not
Right.
just this is specific to only those who are considered running, but to create that broad thing. That said, if nobody registers, then absolutely, you know, we're not going to run a session to an empty room and waste any money.
Right, okay.
The second part of
right.
your thing is there's variable costs. We don't know where people are coming from. We don't know, back to, you know, we want to be flexible with, you know, do they want to go for dinner every night? You know, and back to that unique relationship building. There's a really, you know, breaking bread is an important part of relationship building. So there's some
Yeah.
parts where, you know, they might be exhausted with each other and be like, let's not all go for dinner, you know, or they may be like,
Right.
hey, we're feeling pumped, let's go for dinner. We want to, it's a rare moment where everybody's getting to know each other, where we kind of want to, we're not talking, again, as you know, we don't pay for alcohol. We don't.
Yeah.
And everything's being built around a budget. So we're trying to be very constrained in what it looks like and run a robust program, but there may be mild overages and we just want to be in a position to go, it's the end of the year. We're going to have money left in contingency. We should be able to say yes to those requests and whatnot.
Right. And then sorry, just quickly, the other question that and thought that came to mind was like I was just a bit concerned about not having an October meeting because it is budget time, and you know, I just wonder, can there still not be an October meeting even though the November training is going to happen, like to take care of whatever business, like stuff that the new board can take on, you know, ahead of the training or whatever. I don't know. I think, you know, because in some
Yeah.
ways it's going to really cut down on their time looking at budget stuff, missing that one whole meeting in October. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so that was one of my other concerns.
I totally know, and this is the challenge, if I may, is that they get, you know, the election's on the 17th, and then there's some process that takes place. It takes a little bit to count all the votes to make sure if there is any, you know, God forbid there's no tie or anything along those lines that'll drag it out for months on end.
Right. Yeah.
And then as well for us, we need time. And, you know, this board, should this board discuss, could have a meeting in October, but just be aware that depending on who gets elected, it's a totally new policy group and they may choose to go in a different direction. So there is a challenge there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add that last election we did do the candidate information session, and it was fairly well attended. I went even though I was, you know, already an elected person, just to see, you know, how it was, and it was really well done, quite useful.
We missed.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, we just missed the first part of what you were saying there, Chair Kennedy, because your voice was muffled.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm on a laptop at school here. So I was just going to say that last election cycle, we did do an orientation session for candidates information session for candidates who were interested in running either for school district or regional district, and it was well attended and really well done, and just kind of gave people an idea, and not to discourage people from running, but to encourage people to run, you know, to drum up that kind of interest. So yeah, it was really well done and well attended last time. Director Northeast.
I like the idea. I think the more information we can get out there to people, and I think I heard our CEO say that this isn't just
for people thinking about running, but rather to encourage people to run. And there's also the added benefit of, even if some people just come because they've, how do I put it, got a bug up their nose about, local government and that. Well, they can find out what's really involved. We've all been there. We get these questions all the time. What's the CCRD doing about this, that, or the other thing? And a lot of times it's not really in our playhouse or whatever you want to call it. So I think this has got the potential for being something very encouraging, very positive. Some people will go, hey, maybe I should run. And some people will go, oh, I'm not running. Forget it. It sounds like too much work. So that's just my way of saying I'd like to move forward on it. And I trust staff that if it becomes clear there's no interest, then we'll do something else. So that's it for me.
Go ahead, Director Hall.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I want to promote that it's very engaging, very purposeful, very meaningful work, very thankless, but those who put up their names forward, my hands are raised to you for that. We tend to speak for the areas that we come from, and that's the purpose. And I want to commend you guys for your work. Unfortunately, I have to also say that we lost a chief and elder this morning, and normally I'd have to, following my custom, take the day off from any work, but I needed to come and be a part of this discussion today. So I just want to say that with that, I'm going to be stepping off pretty quickly here to go and see some family and work on what's going on with our chief and elders remains. It was my Uncle Chester Lawson. He was a teacher and educator for many years and became a hereditary chief just within half of his life, and is spoken very highly of education and promoting working together and these types of things. He was actually my grade 10 art teacher as well. With that, I created some entrepreneurial ventures with my Heltzik Art and Apparel. So I just wanted to say, thank you guys for your work, and please understand and appreciate the position where I have to go and see some family now. So thank you guys.
Can't hear you, Chair Kennedy. Still can't hear you.
It's
Yeah, your
pretty
volume's
muffled.
good. Yeah.
What if I'm over
There,
here?
better.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Okay,
better.
my microphone must be over here. I was just saying, I'm really sorry, Director Hall, for your loss. Just wanted to, yeah.
Turn your head to the left a little bit.
Over here.
No, can't
Right,
hear.
you're right.
Ah.
There.
I just have to talk really loud.
Yes,
Okay,
there we can
and
hear
we
you
have
now.
to be right centered. Okay. Again, so sorry, Director Hall.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you for attending today, and my condolences to the community for the loss.
Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. We'll
Thanks,
see you soon.
Travis.
All right, bye-bye now.
Thank you. Okay. So are there any changes that we're making to that resolution that we've already passed?
No, it's already
No.
passed. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing. I have to go back to work as well. So let's see. We have the RFD for the Denny Island Water Tender Award. And we have Mr. Manson here. Hello. Would you like to speak to this?
Certainly. Hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our third tender call for the project. As some of you will remember, we've been through this before. Project budget has been a challenge all the way through this project. As time goes on, we get less and less done for the same dollar. But we've managed to rescope the project. As I think, again, most of you will know, we've scoped down the size of the project. If you go down to perhaps take the screen down to Appendix B there, That kind of shows what's going on. Sorry, it's sideways. Yeah. Oops. It'll come up in a minute, but there's a map there at the end of the report showing the original scope of the project that went in for the grant application many years ago. And in this go around, we are reducing that to a smaller section. When it comes up there, it's just in the light blue. So it's approximately half of the original local service area. And the concept that the board has approved is that included in the scope of the work is a construction of a water filling station that will be provided for the remaining area in that local area service. The local area service legal boundary is not going to change. It's the original one that was done when the project was originally envisioned. So this third tender is only for distribution system within that southern area. We had 7 contractors submit prices for the projects, ranging from a high of $2.1 million to a low of 1.3, just over 1.3 million. We have 2 contractors that came in very close to each other. Coastal Wolf at 1.342 million and Trian Enterprises at 1.337. And Trian is our low bidder. Trian also bid all 3 runs to the market. They've submitted prices on all 3. So our recommendation at this stage is to award the project to the low bidder, Trian Enterprises, for the total tender price of $1.337 million. Total number $1,337,975 plus GST. It includes, we have split the project up into 2 components, a base component and an optional component that allows us to include it or not include it in the contract after we've awarded it. We have enough budget. We have approximately $1.5 million for the project. And at this point, with the other costs involved in completing this project, which the board is familiar with, our net contingency, if we award at the low bid price of 1.338 million, we'll have a contingency budget, assuming we build everything, including the water filling station, of around $100,000. In a conventional sort of urban context, fairly straightforward work, it's probably sufficient contingency, about 5%, to complete a project. But with the remoteness of Denny Island and other factors, I think we're probably a little short in terms of what our recommended contingency is. So we will be looking carefully upon award. We firstly want to revisit the water fill station, see if we can save a bit of money on that. The price that was submitted for this particular contractor was a bit higher than others, so there may be some room to get some alternate pricing for that, which we can do through the contract amendment process after award. We may also, to be cautious, we may also not award a small portion of the distribution system pending the project progress. So this is a process we followed before on our other 2 big capital projects, knowing that our contingency budget is very light. It allows us, we may, in fact, an approach we may take is to purchase the pipe and materials, get it on the island, and hold off on the labor component, making sure that we're not going over our contingency. If we do, we can basically cut the contract short a little bit at the north end of the of the project if necessary, or complete to the original scope. As we did on the Hagesburg project is one where we held off a little bit of the distribution system, and we ended up building the whole scope of the project for that particular project. And that's my presentation. You have any questions?
I guess I have trouble following is why are we thinking that price of putting the pipe in the ground is going to actually change for some reason? Like it's something that didn't put in the bid process, or you think when you sign up for a contract and you give a price, that's the price of the contract.
And it typically is. This is not a lump sum contract. This is a unit price contract. So it's based on quantities, and most of the quantities are pretty straightforward, so they're not likely going to change much. If we do run into unforeseen conditions under the terms of MMCD contracts, the contractor may be entitled to extra costs due to those unforeseen conditions. That's typically why we hold a contingency budget. Again, I don't have any particular reasons why we're going to burn through the 100,000, but we often do, and we did on the other projects for various things like extra cost for steel, for example, for the reservoir was a reason why we had to spend 50,000. So you never know what these things are until they occur. I don't expect us to have to cut back the scope, but I'm giving you a warning, sort of as a professional doing these projects over time, that it does occasionally happen. And I also know how tight the budget is elsewhere in the regional district. There is no other funds available to bring into the project, and I'm aware of that. And so we will proceed on a cautious basis to ensure to do whatever we can to make sure we don't have to come back looking for more money at the end of the project.
So the water fill station, that price is pretty outrageous. Like, did we ever look into supplying water from a hydrant instead of making a dedicated fill point?
We could look at alternatives, and yes, it is a high price. They varied between under 100,000, and this one is high at 145. We want to explore that with the contractor, so we will do that after award, and look for savings.
Yeah, I think that money is just is better used to put more pipe in the ground than to have a fill station.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Yeah, I was just, given that we've had cost overruns and have scrambled with the other two projects in Bella Coola for additional finances at the end of those two projects. I'm just wondering if, I'm wondering if we can apply the precautionary principle and also perhaps have a larger contingency amount with the additional items, like, as opposed to, having more money to use for additional items. Some of that, like, we can use some of that for more contingency in case there's problems that crop up, and because we've seen that before, obviously, right? So but it sounds like you're being very cautious in your approach to this project, which is good, and hopefully there isn't cost overruns, but
to answer that, we did build into the contract wording the ability to remove optional items without any cost impact of it. You basically get a credit for the item that you remove. So the north section, we could let's say take 100 meters off the north section and put it on in limbo and say we haven't decided on that yet. You can proceed with the rest, and we'll decide on the last 100 meters later in the project once we get further along and see what's happening with our contingency budget, etc. So it's a strategy that we're proposing to do to mitigate the that tight contingency budget that he mentioned.
Are we voting on this or is this already voted on?
You are voting on this today.
Oh, well, then I'm not supposed to be, I'm not supposed to be voting on this today.
Oh, you're not supposed to be here, you mean?
Well, I got confused there because this isn't like a closed meeting or anything. So I'll leave the meeting now.
Okay.
If I may,
So-
there's one comment I will throw in just to clear something up. We have to have a fill station. And the reason for that is we have to service the entire service area. And we are only piping in a portion of the service area. So for us to make this work, there has to be a fill station, and the fill station should have 2 tiers, an ability to have 2 tiers. Those who are in the service area should be able to buy water at a discount because they are paying for it through taxes, through those sort of things. So they should be able to, we need to provide them a benefit. But that is why there's a fill station, and that's why there's a technical component to it, is that the intention is that they will buy it at a cheaper rate. And then if other people who don't live in the service area want to access the water, they will pay a different market rate. And hopefully in time we can model that out, and that should help contribute to the financial viability of that system. And we wouldn't have to be here if we could afford to do the whole area, and we have applied to that Strategic Priorities Fund phase 2 to complete the whole grant, the whole service area, and build it all out. So we are hopeful that we can get that grant, but that is unknown at this time.
Oh,
Go ahead, Director Hofstad.
thank you. Yeah, so yeah, I think Director Emery was just talking about doing the fill station a different way, like a cheaper way than that. Yeah, like I think you said a
Hydrant.
hydrant or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
But we have to provide,
I don't think
we
he
want
was
to
saying
provide
no
a
to-
benefit. So
Right.
either we have if it's just a hydrant, then we have to have somebody stand there and unlock it and be like, what rate are you? What rate are you? Are you in the area? Are you not in the area? And like there's some technical challenges that go along with how do we service people in a convenient way when there is 2 classifications of people in the
Right.
service area who should pay less, and people not in the service area that pay more. And if we have an automated system, it's cheaper in the long term than having to pay a person to stand there or to be on call to fill people up. Does that,
Yeah, okay.
it's a weird workaround where we can make this project viable while still servicing everybody in the area.
That being said, I think we still want to meet with the contractor to see if we can, because the other prices were lower, to see whether we can
Yeah.
get them to look at a different vendor or something. Still achieve the objective that we're trying to do, perhaps at a lower cost.
So the motion that's before us is to award the project to Trion. Is it Trion Enterprises?
That's correct.
And yeah, so but in the base amount of only like less than that 1.37 million, right? Like it's for 626,000, and then the rest would be at staff discretion, like to do more of the project, like as funds allow. Is that it?
Yeah, that's correct. The way we structured this project, we had a lot of optional items in there. We wanted to cover all the bases. But what I'm telling you is that as it stands, if we award the base plus all of the optional items, we have a contingency of around 100,000. So we will manage that second clause in terms of the optional items to ensure that we come in under our allowable budget, including the contingency. And that includes the water fill station that is one of the optional items as well.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a resolution before us that the Denny Island Water System Improvements Phase 1 project be awarded to Trion Enterprises 2018 Limited in the base amount of $626,950 net of GST, and that staff be authorized to proceed with additional optional items as tendered at the discretion of staff. So I'm looking for a mover for that resolution. Moved by Director Harstead and a seconder. Director Northeast, any further discussion? All in favor? Great. Okay, great. And thank you, John, for this this report and all your work on this. This one's been a real slog.
You're very welcome.
So yeah, next we have the Bella Coola Airport Resurfacing Transport Canada grant. So we need a to
Chair
accept
Kennedy,
that
are we
grant.
just going to wait for Director Emery to return?
Oh, I guess so. I gotta go back to work. Oh boy. Okay.
Can someone text him or whatever?
Yeah, I can send him a text. All right, I've sent him a message.
Okay.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I had,
Yes.
I just had one question about, yeah, the motion that we just made. And can that award be brought out of in camera as well?
We are
So
not
currently in
camera.
the open.
We're in open.
Oh,
right
we're
now.
in open. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought we were still in camera. Right. Okay.
And
Perfect.
Director Harstad, just for a matter of procedure, once a motion has been passed, generally we should not have further discussion on it.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, Director Emery has returned.
Welcome back, Steve. Welcome back.
Hey,
Hey. Okay, so we have moved on, but not started discussion on the Transport Canada grant for the Bella Coola Airport resurfacing. So I am going to should I pass it over to Mr. Slingerland? I don't know if
Totally.
great.
I'll do this and I'll keep it super quick. The board has already
Yeah.
approved this. Transport Canada has come back and said, could we get a different resolution? So we're like, okay. So our corporate office has done a wonderful job of breaking this up into the different weird ways that we have to do these motions. So this is effectively a housekeeping matter. So the first component of this, that they want it supported, great. Second one, that we accept it and then we administer it. Again, those are the first components. The last one is we spent a lot of time, both as staff as well as at the board table, talking about how we can utilize this grant to create economies of scale to open paving opportunities for other things in the valley. To do that, we need a resolution. So this is all housekeeping about things that the board has already talked about. So it's before you. Again, just to meet those requirements of Transport Canada. And if you want us to work with partners to do paving in the valley, then we need that last resolution. Okay, that's
Okay.
it.
Thank you. So the first one is all of us, or pardon me, all of the participants. So Bella Coola Valley directors, right? Is that correct, Curtis? Yeah, okay. So Bella Coola Valley directors, I'm looking for a motion that the resurfacing of the Bella Coola Airport runway, taxiway, and apron be supported. Moved by Director Harst, or is that a motion, or are you?
Yeah.
Yep. Moved by Director Harstad, seconded by Director Northeast. Further discussion? All in favor? Great. Okay, and now this is everyone, including Steve, that Assistance Program Contribution Agreement CA 165415 in the amount of $3,396,100 be accepted and that staff be authorized to administer the program. Moved by Director Harstad and a seconder, seconded by Director Northeast. Any further discussion? All in favor? Yeah, great. Last resolution, that staff be directed to facilitate other parties in engaging the paving contractor to complete other projects in the Bella Coola Valley to fully utilize the paving contractor being on location. I love this one. I'm looking for that motion.
I have a question.
Oh, no. What?
So the last motion that we authorize staff to administer the program, who I assume that is our taxes that are paying for the administration and not out of the 3 million.
Correct. It
So-
requires staff time.
Right. So on this next one, if we're putting it out there for other people, are we going to be able to charge them a surcharge to cover the administration?
I think what we're aiming to do is just connect people, not to do the administrative legwork between them. So it's not administering pricing or acting as and
Okay.
acting as a thing. It's more like, hey, if you want to do like, imagine, I think we're going to do some Facebook posts, and then if people get in touch with us and newsletter things, then we can connect the two and kind of get out of the way. Just like you're recognizing a very accurate point that if we were going to turn this into a robust program, it would have some serious staff time costs. We're looking to find what is the easiest way to get people talking, because we're not carrying any of the costs, nor are we paying for them to do paving. It's we're paying for this paving, the equipment's in town. If you want to utilize
Right.
it, you two talk about it. We're not involved. That's a separate contract.
Sure, I was just trying to think of some way to cover, because the staff administering the program, that's going to come out of the airport budget, and I would assume, and so if there was some other way to facilitate getting some money out of someone else who's going to use it, then that would be a trick and a half, I think. But no, okay, we're going to make it simple and just provide advertising of who the contractor is and send them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a motion, Steve? That sounded like a motion.
Sure, that's the motion. Yeah.
Okay, moved by Director Emery and a seconder. Director Harstead. Further discussion? All in favor? All right, great. Any opposed? Hearing none. I think the last matter is just adjournment. Unless there's anything else, Ms. Harding, that I'm missing, because that often happens.
Nothing else.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone.